What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Curtis Review. Before we get started, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as I'm trying to hit my next goal of 100 subscribers. My last two videos have gotten a lot of views, so thank you all for watching and for continuing to support my growing channel. This week we are talking about what could be my contender for Best Movie of 2023, Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things, starring Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe. As we get into the review... Whoa. Finally, I've emerged from the void, and right in time for the new year. It was so cold in there, and filled with so many cinematic camera angles of my anguish. Wide angles, fish eyes, all these things that made me feel so insular, closed in and small. Wait, am I talking about myself or Poor Things? Before I dive into this magnificent film, I'm gonna drop a spoiler warning right here. Pause here, go watch Poor Things, and then come back for more of my thoughts. Poor Things, based on a novel of the same name, is the story of Bella Baxter, a woman who is given a second chance at life after a Victor Frankenstein type, Godwin Baxter, played by Willem Dafoe, reanimates her body as well as imbuing her with the brain of the dead woman's unborn infant. In one of the many amazing script touches from Tony McNamara, Bella refers to her paternal figure as God, which is so narratively succulent, I couldn't help but furiously jump at those utterances. The movie does sound incredibly disturbing, right? Well, it kind of is, but somehow in the film's brilliance and levity, it works. It's creepy but never too scary, captivating without being too campy. It may be a Frankenstein movie on the surface, but Emma Stone and Lanthimos are shooting for the stars with the imagination and discovery on display here. In one of my more recent videos about Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron, I discussed how important a sense of whimsy and discovery is to not just children's movies, but movies in general. Movies are instances where we can explore our most depraved and most imaginative dreams and sections of our brain, and Poor Things captures this essence fully. There was never a moment I was bored. And even the section of the movie that's in black and white, the images and scenes on display were consistently breathtaking. I could not take my eyes off the screen the entire time. With the cinematography and well-implemented camera angles by Robbie Ryan, wide lens and fisheye all work to captivate the world that Bella Baxter is discovering, or rediscovering based on the context of her origins. Her babbling and stiff walk in the beginning of the movie is much like a baby learning and experiencing the new world that it's entered into, seeing and sensing things that are overpowering and overwhelming. The way the movie is shot, we, the audience, feel the exhilaration and excitement the same way that Bella does. The movie is also incredibly sensual and sexy, and in an especially discomforting sense of watching this movie communally, we get the rush of dopamine that comes from having sex or indulging in physical desires. It's freeing in a way that a movie has never made me feel. It's in that sense of exuberance that the movie achieves greatly. Looks-wise, I couldn't help but be reminded of the quaint quirkiness of Tim Burton's early run of movies like Edward Scissorhands. Everything in Poor Things is so stylistically specific and intentional that Yorgos' voice is uniquely him. There is a similarity between his filmmaking style and Burton's, but it's solely in the way that these movies can both feel strange and warm. A movie about a reanimated woman who never consented to being reanimated shouldn't be as luminous and inviting as Poor Things is. Burton's early films feel like this, and I just couldn't shake the comparison. The movie is also incredibly funny. If I wasn't laughing at the amazing script, I was laughing at sight gags and just the pure commitment of these actors to what Lanthimos wanted to capture through his camera lens. For no particular reason other than that I do appreciate toilet humor from time to time, Dafoe's Godwin, who can I just say has such an interesting and rich backstory that we only get glimpses and pieces as he shares that with Bella as she's growing up and Guustavv's Max McCandless. I would love to see like an expansion of this universe, like if that ever happened, that'd be insane. But when Godwin is sharing meals with Bella and McCandless, he has to utilize a machine that helps him expel gas. I was cracking up in the theater every single time it happened. It was never not funny to me. It is such a whimsical and silly touch that other filmmakers would have simply skipped over. But it's in those moments where I found the most fun being had both in front of and behind the camera. Emma Stone's performance will likely win her the Oscar. There is no other outcome that I see from the award show. Her comedy timing is perfect as always, but it's in the moments where Bella begins to unravel the machinations of patriarchy and the stifling of free expression in polite society, fuck polite society, where her brilliance shines like a bright star. One of my favorite moments for her is near the end of the movie, and she mentions to Mr. McCandless that she never feels more alive and invigorated than when she's in the operating room. Something about that line struck me to my core. As I'm wont to do, I often see a filmmaker and their movie as an expression of their idea of, well, filmmaking. Bella Baxter is ultimately Lanthimos' creation, but also his conception of the movie. His baby that he brought to life more than a few times, script rewrites, finally implementing a true vision, filming scenes, making the actual movie, and then fully conceiving of it in its final form, editing, post-production. Poor Things is Yorgos taking a moment to reflect on what he's done in his career and why he enjoys making movies. That's why the movie feels extra warm and fun. He's clearly having a ball making it, but he's also crafting a succinct thesis on what he's wanted to achieve in his filmmaking career. That being said, I'm officially a Yorgos stan now, and I cannot wait to dive into his filmography. Let's talk about Mark Ruffalo. He's nearly unrecognizable in a true acting sense in his role as the iconically named Duncan Wedderburn. Watching him interact with Bella as she is first learning about her body, through her philosophical phase and working in the brothel, Ruffalo is given full jurisdiction to fucking go for it, both comedically and dramatically. The downfall of his sexy, self-assured sycophant into a blubbering icon of all the worst and flaccid parts of masculinity is amazing to see unfold. I also think he at the very least deserves a nomination, if not a win, for his performance. While Duncan is a reprobate and a sullen, embarrassing portrait of sagging manhood, Ruffalo is anything but in his acting performance. Recently, I read a story called Beauty Is by Elizabeth Engstrom, collected in a book called When Darkness Loves Us. There were a lot of narrative similarities to Poor Things, but it's about a woman who faced such a brutal event during her childhood that it caused her to become mentally challenged. It's a harrowing tale that is both parts disturbing and hopeless, while somehow being hopeful and beautiful. Poor Things embodies those same qualities. In a world where a chicken with a pig's head can exist, there is still a semblance of family, freedom, and love that can ring out in a world that is filled with so much pain. Bella's realization of the terror of class structure and the suffering of humanity was terrifying to feel along with her. But in its masterful way, Poor Things remains more of a science fiction leaning adventure more than a drama. It's a comedy through and through, with such a rich sense of discovery and appreciation for life that you will leave the theater feeling a renewed sense of that appreciation for Earth and its creatures, all perfectly flawed in our imperfections. So obviously I loved Poor Things, but what did you think about it? Is this your favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie? If not, which one of his movies is your favorite? Leave all the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe as I'm trying to hit my next channel milestone of 100 subscribers, and I'll take all the help I can get. So until next time, keep watching movies, keep furiously jumping each other, and peace.